He's Zander.
He's Ollie.
And welcome to the Round Sound Show, Part 2, Episode 2, mate.
Ooh,
We've made it.
Yes.
We're finally a podcast.
2 weeks down the line.
I know, mate. It's been a while. How are you?
I'm alright, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm doing my best anyway.
Yeah. We started off by saying we're going to do this weekly, and 2 weeks down the line.
I told you it was a mistake, mate.
Well, it's not.
Don't promise things.
No. Well, we didn't promise. We said we're going to start it off. We're going to make it a hobby. We're going to do it when we can. That's what we're doing.
And that's the key, mate. As long as you have fun with it, and we upload constant episodes when we can.
That's it. Life just gets in the way, doesn't it?
Content is the key, mate. As long as it's good content, it doesn't matter about the time, does it?
People are going to keep on coming back.
Time is infinite, mate.
Time is infinite. That's a nice segue into what we're going to talk about.
Well, of course it is.
Yeah.
What are we talking about this week?
Well thought of. So, I've got some figures of you to start the podcast off with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get these right, okay?
Okay.
And I'll start with the smallest one. An estimated 20 billion Earth-like planets in the Milky Way.
Crikey.
Planets that are inhabitable.
Yeah.
Are habitable.
Habitable zones.
Zones with atmospheres and stuff. Within that, there's 20 billion stars in the Milky Way. So the planets circle around stars with 20 billion. And then, so the Milky Way is a galaxy.
Yeah.
There's 2 trillion known galaxies.
Oh my god.
2 trillion.
Can't just throw that out there from the off, mate, because it's not okay.
What?
My brain's fried from the very moment we start talking.
What?
So, 20 billion habitable planets.
Yeah.
Within all the known galaxies.
No, within the Milky Way.
Within one galaxy.
Yeah.
That's maths that I can't even do.
So you imagine it's impossible for there not to be life out there.
There must be. Even if it's a plant.
Just impossible for them not to be.
Water, some form of organism that's living.
Yeah.
It's got to be. There's got to be.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
And how can we be so ignorant to think that there isn't?
Well, there's people out there that think that we're just the centre of the universe still. We are the hierarchy. We are alone in this universe when it's just impossible for us to be.
Well, it's got to be, because we can't be the only one that's habited a planet from growing organisms from the first point to now.
Mm.
So surely one of those 20 billion planets...
Well, I think when it comes to understanding it, it's hard for the average Joe like me and you to actually comprehend those numbers, to actually put it in your head and go, what? To understand what that means,
so
the
if you
size.
can't comprehend it, surely you can't discard it.
Well,
has to be a reality.
This is it, yeah. But you could say that about a lot of things.
But we don't know if there's life out there, but surely it has to exist. But as you said the other day, Brian Cox has said that we leave markers across the universe for our exosystem, our emittance from the planet.
Yeah.
Sounds, you know.
I think the point he was making is that if there was intelligent life out there within visual distance of us, you'd see markers in the sky from them leaving. So sound waves, radio waves, gamma rays, X-rays, all those kind of things would be visible. So whether or not we're not discarding there isn't intelligent life, what he's saying is that the universe is that old. The universe is 13.8 billion years old.
Yeah.
And we've been around for, 40,000 years, modern man?
Mm-hmm.
So we are not going to... Well, it's very unlikely that other intelligent life are going to exist in the same space and time as we do.
Again, that comes back to the ignorance, though, because if you're saying we leave markers, that comes back to our civilised nature, how we are as a modern day construct.
Yeah.
So you're assuming that whatever may be out there is in that same construct as us.
Yeah, it's a massive assumption. I understand that, yeah.
Will they have or need the technology that we use, which emits markers, as you say?
They're watching Jeremy Kyle on a Saturday afternoon.
Of course not, because he's been cancelled.
We should take that slot We'll have that slot.
Equally nonsense, mate. You look at Egypt, Greece. They had more civilized colonizations than we have currently, I think.
Yeah.
But with far less technology that leaves markers.
Yeah.
So does that make sense?
But
whatever may be out there may be as civilized as them.
Different technology that allowed them to build the pyramids, which we to this day still can't figure out how they did it in that particular time.
Exactly. So if we can figure out how to use phones and stuff, they can figure out how not to use them.
Yeah, true.
So the marker thing for me is a nonsensical argument because they could be civilized in the sense where they're more civilized than us because they don't use those things.
Yeah.
Think about how civilized our universe would be and how much we'd communicate as humans and how much more we'd get along if all of the modern day technology that we use, that we need, didn't exist.
Well, this is something I wanted to run by. This is going to be a later episode, but I want to do a sober October, a Stoptober, where we stop using social media for a month and we explore that on the podcast maybe and see how it affects our lives. We talk about that, so it's something we can do.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have the business to run, I would not be on Facebook. At all.
No, I very rarely go on Facebook.
I scroll through it and I can't tell you anything that I remember.
No, because it's just mind-numbing crap.
Nonsense, mate.
It is.
And that comes back to the point where we're desensitised to the point where we have to have these modern day technologies to coexist as people. We went to church last Sunday for Sam's cousin's dedication, they call it, where he gets dedicated to Jesus. And when he grows up, he can choose whether to be a follower or a non-follower, which in my head was the way we're all born.
Yeah.
So why do you need to be dedicated? Anyway, they did that, and that's what they wanted to do.
Right.
But the diversity of the community in that church and the people there, they all spoke to each other. Everybody.
Yeah.
From all different communities.
Because it's a community and it does bring people together.
But I've never seen that across anything else within life, and I think that's because we're dumbed down by the things that we consume.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm not a believer. I'm not a churchgoer. I don't ambulance man.
Again?
That's the
Mate, it's a sign.
We had one last week, didn't we?
It's meant to be.
Yeah, I don't believe in God. I just put it out there. I don't believe in God. I'm not a believer at all. I think there's far greater things out there that
you don't believe in our God.
I don't believe.
The correct sentence.
I don't believe in a higher being, a single being. There's energy, is what I believe in.
Well, higher being could be that energy, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe. So you don't believe in the construct of God as it's presented to you?
I don't believe in a God as in a humanoid person.
Well, he's not human, he's a God.
Sitting up there on the clouds and looking down on us. That's what I don't believe in.
Oh, it needs to rain today.
Oh, God damn it.
Don't blaspheme.
There's a drought.
He might be watching.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but definitely, I understand the community around it, and we have a need and a desire to be in a community as human beings, and that's where it's just born from.
I think it's the opposite now, though, because we have a need or a desire to disagree with each other. And that's why I was saying, when I was there, I couldn't believe, and that's the way I am, I'll speak to anybody. They encouraged everybody to turn around and speak to the person behind them.
Yeah.
And I just went, good morning, nice to see you. And it was people from all different walks of life, races, creeds.
Talk to the person on your right.
They were coexisting in that room to a point where I hadn't seen that for probably 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about, civilization and how we've been constructed to be this way.
Yeah.
And if there's anything else out there, I very much doubt that's the way they function.
It's very, very unlikely.
The diversion and how we've been taught to look at each other is just negativity.
Because you told me something about the Egyptians earlier that I was like, actually, that makes perfect sense. That they whipped and chained and butchered the people that built the pyramids for them. They didn't torture their own people. Well,
not necessarily they didn't do that.
Yeah, but
it wouldn't make sense for them to do that, would it?
No, because it literally, we are born from people that have been enslaved.
Yeah.
And we are still living that way now.
But we're just enslaved by different things rather than people.
Yeah, like possessions, money, jobs, phones, social media.
And the need to be like somebody that's got something we haven't.
Yeah.
Like the Kardashians, somebody will go, oh, I wish that I was them.
Yeah, there's always a desire to have something more, wish I was somebody else or something like that. We've all been there. Everybody does it because it's ingrained within you.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether it's in your DNA, whether it's something that's evolved over the millions of years, I don't know, but it's definitely in there for everybody.
Well, as the modern world has like progressed, we're revolved around money, and the more money you can get, the more possessions you can get.
Yep.
So it's just
when you really just sit down and go, why do you need money?
You don't. If money was completely eradicated, we wouldn't stop, would we?
But could you eradicate it from your own life and survive?
We all could. We could go and exist from the ground.
But of an individual, it'd be very hard for an individual.
In this modern world, I'm going to say I can't. But is that because I've been so pushed towards that thing that I can't do that? But you can.
It'd be an interesting experiment to see. I know you get these TV shows where they drop somebody naked in the middle of the woods, but that's not the same thing. You're being filmed, you're surrounded by humans. Whether or not you can survive with no money, I know people do it, but given the relevant training, the relevant knowledge to go out there and survive with nothing and just start again.
Again, going back to that argument of like the vastness, think about where we've come from, not the outer world, where we've come from. What did they do?
Well, they
existed
survive.
From the earth.
Hunter-gatherers.
And that's how our connectivity to the earth is, humans mentally and humans physically. We need the earth to exist, don't we?
Yeah.
There's a guy that comes in my Worcester shop and he is living in Spain now. And he's an army engineer, retired.
Yeah.
He built an irrigation system out of a hollowed out tree. So the rain falls into that tree.
Yeah.
Goes through an irrigation system of trees that he's built and cleans it.
Right.
That's where his water comes from. He built a...
So it basically filters the water as it comes through.
It irrigates it.
Flipping heck.
He also built a wind turbine out of a drum from a washing machine.
Yeah.
So the more it spins, the more energy it creates for his house. He's completely self-sustainable. So it is completely possible.
It is possible.
Grows vegetables, fruit. There's no meat, obviously, but... He's living
you could
from
get
the
meat
earth.
if you wanted to get meat, I suppose.
It's possible.
But what was I going to say then? It just, all that comes down to the fact that we've just been, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? We've been ingrained like that over thousands of years.
The original point, we've been whipped and pushed towards that point. And how far is that going to take us down the line? It's not going to take us anywhere. It's going to take the people that are doing it very far.
I was going to say, it's not going to take the people that are being whipped very far.
The average Joe.
Yeah, you're going to get to a point where it either breaks or we cease to exist.
Or you stop complaining about it and adjust the situation to a point where you can coexist with both situations.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
But it's impossible to do so when the mental health aspect comes into that. You push so far into something that it affects your mental health.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the Buddhist community, they have so many belief systems revolved around being a good human being.
Karma,
the humanism of everybody around you, the connectivity with the universe, and just belief systems that you push positive energy out, you
totally
get positive
believe in
energy back.
Yeah.
We are so ingrained to push towards the things that we don't know are bad, but they are making us bad, that negativity only comes in.
Because you always want bad things. People want bad.
But you don't know they're bad.
We want McDonald's, that's bad. We want alcohol, that's bad.
Or just one more time though.
Just give me that Big Mac, we want it. Yeah,
okay,
it's bad for you, but
tomorrow.
You'll do it tomorrow. I'm the worst person for that, for exercise, for going to the gym. Fish and chips, yeah, we'll be alright. We'll start tomorrow.
I'm really tired, I can't be bothered.
I'm not drinking today, but we'll have one beer and then we'll start again tomorrow. I'm the worst one for that. Yeah. And I don't know where that comes from, if that's something I was born with, whether I got brought up like that or...
We definitely didn't.
I don't think so. I honestly don't know. That's what I'm like anyway. I don't know what it's like for yourself. I think it's just
a knock-on effect of all these things that you don't know are happening, so that your brain is thinking in such negative ways that you draw to the negative things.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You put positivity out there and you get positivity back. It's the same for everyone.
I need some positivity in my life. Maybe this is going to be that.
But the positivity comes from within. It really does. And the things that you surround yourself with as well.
I must say, I've had an urge to start sort of meditation or yoga or something like that.
Definitely
to start me on the right trail to get into that point. Definitely.
Yeah.
And these are things that I'd like to do with you within this podcast, incorporate little challenges like that.
That was a harmony.
Those stretches. And yeah, I know. I think I'd like to do that. I'd like to give ourselves little monthly challenges where this month we do yoga and see how that affects you.
The first monthly challenge would be me crossing my legs because I cannot cross my legs.
I want to do the splits as well.
Absolutely no chance, mate.
But that takes a lot of flexibility. Joe Rogan, I was watching Joe Rogan, he can do the splits.
I'm 29 and I can't cross my legs.
He's 51.
Exactly.
So obviously it can be done.
But my hip is completely ruined.
Oh, it's just excuses,
Again,
you
it's
see.
all in
It's
my
all in the
head.
head. You got to put that positivity out there, haven't you?
You've got to conceive, believe, achieve.
Oh, blimey. There you go. That's on a t-shirt somewhere.
Nonsense. What you need to do is just think
Sound like Gary
that you
Vaynerchuk.
can do it and just do it over and over and over and over again until you can do it.
Yeah. Well, I know it's cliche, but you can do anything you want to do.
Of course you can.
Yeah. You can achieve anything you want to achieve.
When people say the word no doesn't exist, it does until a certain point when yes exists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think the Egyptians built the pyramids first go? They went, no, that brick doesn't fit there.
Yeah, we're going to have to start
Let's put a
again.
bigger one on there.
Start again? I am not starting again.
Are you mad?
Are you mad? It's
Do it
taken
again.
us 55 years. You're the second generation. We'll start with the third.
But surely anything is conceivable, so everything is conceivable. If there's life out there,
Yeah.
if there's a vast universe that we've never even explored, how can we discard anything
You can't
in life?
discard. You cannot discard anything.
So if we can't discard that, so how can we discard bettering ourselves?
No.
We can't.
One thing, there's things that they can prove, the things that have recorded facts, like Brian Cox talks about the fact that the whole universe is built out of the same elements because the elements are born in the same way.
Because they're born from the earth.
No. Another thing that blew my mind, and that you probably know this already because you've heard this because you listen to a lot of Brian Cox as well, I know, that every cell, every element, everything that makes the building blocks of your life, of your body, of who you are, not your consciousness, but your physical elements, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, everything in your body was born in a star.
Yeah.
So that's
where it
how
all began.
That's how the elements are born and made. So obviously you've got the sun burning brightly now with hydrogen and nitrogen and helium and stuff
So it's burning within you.
but then as it dies, so we're going death and life,
Okay.
the cycle of life.
Okay.
So as it dies, it heats, it cools, and all the elements inside get hotter, then oxygen's produced, and then eventually gold, platinum, silver, and everything as it gets older and older. So all the elements are basically built within dying stars.
Yeah.
So the billions of years that takes for that to happen, for all these elements to be produced, and then they somehow end up in a small organism on some planet in the middle of the Milky Way, of those 20 billion stars in the Milky Way, talking about life, drinking a Stella.
And it's fascinating.
And you are built of stardust, literally.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Within that you're talking about, how we're built from this thing that was encapsulated, what built the universe.
Yeah.
Then you delve into the consciousness.
Another ambulance? What is going on?
So much crime around here.
What is going on? We need to move. We need to find another planet.
Well, yeah, this is brilliant because I would love to go to one.
Yeah.
I would love to see the confirmation of somebody else being on a planet within my lifetime, or
I think we will.
the confirmation of life within another planet within my lifetime.
It's going to happen within 50 years, I
Even if
reckon.
my last dying moment is me stood above that flying saucer going,
I knew it was true.
it'd be fantastic because I'd know that
Yeah.
deep within. But if you think about all of that, where we came from, and then you bring in the consciousness, it gets even worse.
Yeah.
These thoughts that we're talking about now, where did they come from?
It just reinforces the fact that everything is linked, everything is connected.
It is interconnected. It all
Everything
is interconnected. We are. And that's again the religion thing. I believe that the gods are within us.
Yeah.
And the one true God, is the universe.
Yeah.
Because that's where we came from, and that is what encapsulates all life within this planet, and probably other planets within those 20 billion planets.
The universe is the creator.
Yes.
There is a creator.
Exactly.
Whether or not there was a bing bang,
A bing bang bing.
whether or not there was a big bang, or whether or not the universe is eternal, it's always been there. Nobody knows. They've got a pretty good idea, but we don't know for sure because we can't go back that far. Because you can't see past the big bang. You can't see what's before that because there's no light, there's no readings. But I'm just like, everything is connected.
Everything that exists past that point can be traced back to that point.
Yeah.
So obviously that is the one true constant, the universe.
And going back to the elements, you can see the elements in the stars, the same elements that are on Earth, the same elements that are within your body. There are the same, what is it? How many elements are there? Come on, back to science.
Oxygen, carbon dioxide, carbon and...
But I mean, altogether, there's like, what, 102 elements altogether?
know,
so we can see those through the spectrum of light passing through different colours, represents different elements. So we know that all the same elements are out there for as far as you can see. So the building blocks of life are everywhere.
So is it any coincidence there's only certain ones that are the building blocks?
Well,
no.
It's not a coincidence, because those are the ones like oxygen. You've got, I don't know, sulfur. Is like, we've got microscopic beings that can live down in the depths of the ocean on the little volcanoes and stuff, living off sulfur, and
Exactly.
they can live anywhere. So there's got to be life out there that can live in any kind of conditions.
And again, like, if there's only a select amount of those 102, was it?
I don't know how
That
many.
build up life, that's by design.
I'd Google it, but I'm scared to touch the computer.
If that's by design, then surely that's the God.
Yeah, the universe.
Design,
the universe.
in your design.
Yeah, the design is all around us.
It's not just randomly plucked and gone, oh yeah, there's...
It's not a being. It's not somebody going, don't like you.
Perfect.
The wrath of God. It is...
They're called elements for a reason, because you need elements to create a thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it, mate. Sweet relief. And we're back.
We're back after a short wee break.
We're getting deep then, weren't we?
We
Talking
were
about
going into it. Elements of
I'm
life.
really sorry to break up where we were going.
We were on a right flow, and
Well, that's life, mate. You need a wee, don't you?
the flow. You need to flow. Let it
We're
flow,
on it tonight.
man.
We're on it tonight.
But yeah, where do you want to go from there then? You want to
Where
segue?
do you want to go?
Well, I know where I want to go. I want to go to Mars. I want to terraform. I want to go and start a new planet.
You don't want to terraform yourself because you won't see the final construct.
I want to terraform the planet. Yeah, but you want to go to a planet that's already been partly terraformed, or it's in the process of, don't
The
you?
belief is that Mars has been terraformed before to a point where everything that was living on it died out because the atmosphere changed when there was a collision. So with a terraform, you fire things into a planet to change the construct of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So if a planet heats up, certain things can't survive within that heat.
Right.
And then when it changes, it cools back down and those things come back to life.
Right.
So to break it down, it's like from winter to spring.
Okay.
So winter cools everything down, everything dies,
Yeah.
or goes into hibernation.
Yeah.
And then when spring comes, the flowers grow in the exact same point.
Yeah.
Because they've just heated back up
Yeah.
again. So now they've found the water and they've found apparently proof of organisms on that planet.
Right.
It's because it's been terraformed to a point where the atmosphere changed and the life is coming back, basically.
It's stupid to think that it hadn't happened before.
Of course, mate. Like, Star Wars, look at Star Wars, mate.
I mean, you know.
I'm joking.
But it's got to. We're talking. We like segue back to the fact that the universe is 13.8 billion years old. Mm-hmm. It's just an uncomprehendable number. It's got to have happened again. It's got to have happened before. And our Earth has gone through different changes, different life cycles, ice ages and stuff, all in that time. And
that's the point where we're taught the things that have happened on our Earth to a certain point. What happened before that? Because it existed before that.
Yeah.
So 30,000 years ago, what happened then? We don't know. Things have happened throughout time and they're incomprehensible.
Yeah.
And the civilizations that were built, the hierarchies that were built, there was banks, there was tombs, there was so many things that we use now as constructs within life and death. So the in-between, the timeline, that were already there, in place.
You're talking about civilizations. I heard something about the Aztecs, or the Aztecs or the Mayans or something the other day, that they speak. They live in such remote places that nobody sees them.
Amazonians.
They live in such a remote place that people can never come across them, but yet they are still bilingual.
They speak 3 languages.
They speak Portuguese, wasn't it?
Yeah, which is Brazil, which is so far away from the Amazon. So that comes to the point where it's been colonised in certain ways.
Yeah, but they've kept that language throughout the generations,
and they have
thousands of generations.
Amazonian language as well.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, contrived from Indian language.
Right.
And it's completely different to anything you've ever heard before.
Yeah.
But they also speak
totally
Portuguese.
Different dialect.
They've not watched television. They don't have books. They only speak to each other, and they've only spoken to each other, other than the very few people that have been to that place.
And they can still speak 3 different languages. And we live in this supposedly civilised culture where we have everything we want on our laps, and we can't. Well, I can only speak English. And there's opportunities to learn different languages, but we don't do it.
And that's what comes back to the point where you were saying about the markers in planets. I was saying that we think we're so civilised that these are the heights of civilization. They're probably the lows of civilization, because you look at the Amazonian tribe. They
That's
have
fantastic point, actually.
Nothing that we have, but they're probably way more civilized than we are.
Yeah,
in terms of Western medicine, probably not. They've probably all got loads of problems within their bodies.
Yeah.
But their bodies are probably adapted to their environment.
That's probably had modern medicine has probably had a major part to play in that fact that we think almost we're invincible to a point where we can go through life careless and we don't have to worry about the future so much.
I would argue that's probably the only good thing we've ever done. The technology and stuff, it's great to a point, but you look at them existing now, if we think back, they probably existed in older times, and they exist now in the modern day, and they've never changed.
No.
We have changed and evolved, but we've not gone forwards.
No.
They've done things without even any technology. They can speak multiple languages. They can hunt their own food. They can live in huts that are made out of mud.
Think about the
build
skills that have been lost over the generations.
Yeah.
Recent generations, they try and hold on to certain skills, and certain, like the Aborigines, they try and teach their youth now of the ways of the Aboriginal world, but it will be lost eventually because the world is changing so rapidly.
But those tribes will probably never ever die out, which is where your point is right with us, but not with them.
Right.
Their constructs have always been passed down. Like, they can build, they can hunt, they can feed off the land
stuff.
They know the land to the point where they know where the animals are going to be at certain times in the seasons. They know when the sun's going to drop at different times of the year. We have to rely on a clock to do that,
and we'd need a computer program to track the animals. And
so who's more civilized?
It's
not us.
No.
If you went there for 5 days, would you last?
No, you'd die of starvation.
Where's the soap,
dehydrate. You'd die.
I feel like my feet are really dirty. Can I wash my feet?
I need to cut my toenails. How do I do that?
No, mate, get out of here. When we should be like, do you watch Love Island?
God, you need water. Well, 17 miles that way, mate. Crack on.
We're governed by the things we are given. Yeah. Not by the things we find.
Definitely. It's a bit of a shame. It's probably a subject for another podcast, but it's a great shame. I'd like to. I can't change the world on my own, but I'd like to try and learn some skills.
You can. Anything's possible through Jesus.
If I can find the time, I can get past all the Love Island programs, and I can learn a skill that would benefit me in life.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'd really like to be good with my hands.
Yeah, that's like
And
a craft.
Just learn how to think, how to do, like this cabinet, for example. I could not build that. And that's just simple maths and just cutting.
I'm relatively good with woodwork.
you
I've
say
built my
this.
desks. I've built some desks in my office.
There's quite a few beer mats under those, though, aren't there?
There's no beer
On the
mats.
left lag.
Perfectly level.
I don't know
Well, it's
about
not perfectly level. I wouldn't say it's totally square, but it's perfectly level.
It's the floor that's not level.
Yeah, definitely.
But I can't do those things because we haven't handed them down from generation to generation through every family. Whereas the people of the Amazonian tribes and Aboriginals, the skills that form their tribe form every single generation.
The society's different in the Western world as well. Like, parents don't always stay together, so those skills don't get passed down through the generations because there's no parents there.
And that's why, because they don't have a tribe.
Yeah,
We are not a tribe.
No, we're just individuals that are
wish we
surviving in
were.
a community.
As humans, we don't survive though, we exist. Just about.
Wish our lives away.
Yeah.
Wait for the next holiday.
Where's my next dollar coming from?
Thank God it's Friday.
And it's raining outside. Oh, that's poo, innit?
First world problems.
Well, yeah. What do you expect when you live in Britain?
But this is an interesting conversation, maybe to carry on another time.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of points without actually getting to any.
We're not going into anything specific, but it's just our thought process, I suppose, at the moment.
Yeah, just thinking out loud. And I've thought things today that I never even knew that I thought.
There is stuff out there that you're like, what? Honestly?
Next
How
week,
many?
or when we say next week, we mean the next podcast.
Episode.
We'll continue this one on, and we'll just keep going until it's done.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I'm
it's
up for that.
infinite, and so it will never be done.
It's eternal.
So we will be on Apple Podcasts at some point.
Well, hopefully. If
Fingers
they get their backside in gear, it's not us.
Yeah, sort it out.
So, yeah, we'll wrap it up for this episode. Thanks for tuning in.
I don't want to, though.
No, I'd carry on all night, mate, but unfortunately, I've got to go to work at... I've got to be at work in 3.5 hours.
That's a shame for you, mate. Whose fault is that?
Not mine.
Social construct.
Yeah, I've been told, so I've got to do it, haven't you?
Exactly,
so
mate.
That's it.
Okay, then.
But thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time, guys.
Thanks for coming again.
Like, share, and comment. We appreciate them all.
Love you, bye.
Bye-bye.